Om Brahmanandam Paramasvaram Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dalvaridam Gaganasarasam Tattvamasyaadilakshim Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tamam. Now, the subject of the discussion we are going to have, or talk or satsang, today and tomorrow, is the Gayatri mantra. Now, as Sri Tapa said, I am sure many of you know about the Gayatri mantra. You might have learned the Gayatri mantra, read the Gayatri mantra, maybe chanted the Gayatri mantra. But all the same, the mantra is such an important part of the heritage of this land that repeated satsangs on the Gayatri is indeed a useful exercise, because they might miss out on certain factors. You see, the human mind usually first gets interested in the aspect which appeals to it. That is the nature of the human mind. As you go along, then you begin to discover the undercurrents which you miss at the first sight. And as you go deeper, you find inner meanings which you miss probably at the first sight or the first hearing. So I don't know, I'm not sure. Maybe I have talked about the Gayatri here before. I'm not so sure, because this is the seventh time that I'm coming here. So I'm going to go into it as if I'm doing it for the first time. And I don't want to hurry up on this. Let's go as slowly as possible. But I'll surely wind up when I see the signs of fatigue in the listener as well as the speaker. So, now let me chant the Gayatri. I'm not chanting first, I'm just saying the Gayatri, so that you have you know what the mantra is. It starts, of course, with Om. Om Bhur Bhuva Suva. Many people sometimes chant it as Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha. Swaha is not part of this mantra. Swaha is a very important part of many mantras. Swaha. It's almost like saying, so be it. Swaha. But here it is Om Bhur Bhuva Suva. Suva being the short form of Swarga. We'll come to that. Om Bhur Bhuva Suva. Tat Savitravarenyam. Tat Savitravarenyam. Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. Not Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. Dhiyo yo na prachodaya. Dhiyo yo na prachodaya. This is the mantra. Now, a literal translation of the mantra is, leaving aside the first sentence, it is the most important sentence. The most important part of the Gayatri mantra, which is the first. If you leave that for the time being and go into the literal content of the Gayatri mantra, actually, the best time to speak on the Gayatri is in the morning, when there is light and when there is the sun on. But perhaps Gayatri also refers to the inner light. So, first line, Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha. Keep it for the time being. Om always is a word, a sound used before any mantra. It's called the pranava, meaning that which gives life to something. Prana, that which gives prana, is pranava. We will come to Om also later. Bhur Bhuva Swaha. Then the next 3 lines are the literal translations of the literal meaning of the mantra. which is Tat Savitravarenyam. I worship, I go down, I worship that Tat Savitra, which could mean the sun. It could also mean any light that falls on this earth with no decision on whom it is falling. The sun falls on all. It doesn't discriminate between you and me. Of course, I can go into the shade, that is my will. It's my will. But if I am outside, the sun falls evenly on all, equally on all. Sometimes more here, sometimes more there, but it doesn't choose where to fall. So I go down to that supreme light, the Savitra. That Savitra, that supreme light. Tat Savitra Varenyam. Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. Bhargo means that effulgent. Bhargo is effulgent, that full of light. Bhargo Devasya, that deity, Deva, which is effulgent. And I'm just giving you the exact literal translation right now. Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. Dhimahi means I meditate upon. The root word for dhyana is deep, which means contemplate upon, fix my attention upon. So, Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi, I fix my attention, contemplate, meditate upon that effulgent Deva, being. Now the last part is, I suppose, the most important part, where the request is put forth. Now we have described the person to whom you are going. The principal or the headmaster is described. Now, what is the application that you put forth? But what is it that you wish to do? What is it that you are asking for? Dhiyo yo na prachodayat, which means Dhiyo meaning intelligence, from which also Dhi comes, the root. Dhiyo means that intelligence or that understanding. Dhiyo yo na, that understanding in me. Prachodayat. Prachodayat. You can hear me? There's some problem. So, Dhiyo yo na prachodayat means, may my intelligence be stimulated. I would like to say stimulated. It's a better and accurate translation. It's not revived because it is already there. Stimulate. In potential form, that intelligence is there, what we call Dhiyo, in all human beings. Now, it is not awakened or stimulated because the right kind of life to be led to stimulate it is not there. It is the absence of the right mode of living which does not allow it to be stimulated. So here, the request or the asking is, please stimulate my intelligence. Nothing else. Gayatri mantra does not say, give me wealth. It does not say, give me health. It does not say, give me this or give me that. Gayatri mantra says, illumine or stimulate my intelligence. With the understanding that if your intelligence is clear and stimulated, then all these things which you want, you will find by yourself. Plus, eventually, depending upon how much the mind has evolved, also find that supreme reality to which this mantra is addressed. Till that is found, we are beggars, asking to stimulate our intelligence. When that is found, then we are no more beggars. You found everything. About which the Upanishad says, that which when once found, nothing remains to be found. Which again does not mean that if you find the Supreme Brahman or the Supreme Reality or whatever you call it, suddenly your house materializes and your car. Doesn't mean that. It means you have reached that after finding which you are so satisfied, you don't want anything else. That's all. But that is eventual. Only a mind that is evolved to that level will want that. Till then, and it's quite legitimate that we want many other things. Now, which the most important base condition or foundation is intelligence. Now, when I say intelligence, I'm not talking about knowledge, which is gathering a lot of knowledge from books and repeating it by rote. I'm talking about understanding. That spark of understanding with which we can understand anything that you want, provided you know how to unwind it. Now this is the request put forth in the Gayatri Mantra. Now even these, what I have discussed, I want to go into detail tomorrow, in complete detail. But today, we will take up the first part of the mantra, go into Om, then go into Bhuvaswa. Then tomorrow we will go back into the last 3 verses. Now the word Om is considered to be the pranava. There is hardly any mantra in the Vedas or the Upanishads which do not have an Om added in front. In fact, the Upanishads in many parts have described, have said that from the Gayatri you go into the Pranava. And then from the Pranava you go into that which cannot be understood by the mind, which is the Supreme Reality. Now Om, therefore, is considered to be the root sound behind all creative vibrations. It also has a certain musical component to it. And there are different ways of chanting Om. The two major parts, major ways of chanting Om. One is to have a long first syllable, which is A. Start with A, go to U, and end at Im. Now, you must have read, you must have heard that this represents the beginning of something, the middle of something, and the ending of that. Now, the word in this case, you are dividing Om into 3 parts. U, and Ma. Now, when you divide it this way, there's another way also, I'll come to that. Then it has 3 parts, and the first sound, is a sound which is a basic sound of speech, of vak. Any music, anything, any talk, even if a person is dumb and cannot talk, cannot construct words and sentences, he can say is possible. That's what people who can't speak usually do.